Videos like this are made possible by the generous support of patrons like Steak, who I was actually playing with in this video. Thanks, Steak. Hello Penguinauts, I'm the Beardy Penguin and welcome back to another Q&A video. I haven't done one of these in quite a while, so I thought it was past time that I did another one. And also, as well as having a lot of questions on the Discord, I do have a few things I want to talk about and a lot of questions I keep getting asked in the comments of videos. Mainly, where is For All Kerbalkind / Beyond Kerbal / Debodly Go / this / that. The reason why it's just been Mars Horizon for the last pretty much 6 months is because I finished my semester 1 exams for uni in January, and then I had about a week free. So in that week I binge recorded all of Mars Horizon, uploaded it all, scheduled it all up all the way through to May so that I'd have something coming out. And then I haven't had time to work on YouTube at all since. Like, every episode of Mars Horizon was recorded and uploaded in like late January, early February. And then I haven't had time to even touch the channel since, apart from one stream I did when I got an evening off. And that's been because I've had my dissertation and everything that could have gone wrong with that did kind of go wrong. Maybe I'll do a video about it actually, because it was about a radiometer for a Venus microprobe. Which is quite interesting, but still, that it was interesting, but it was a major pain in the ass. But that was all submitted, and then I had to catch up on all the lectures and coursework that I hadn't been watching / working on because I've been working on the diss. I submitted the diss an hour before the deadline, but I was happy with it. I was proud of it, It's just because when your brain is frazzled from working on something 24/7, I had to write like a 200-word abstract, and it took me like 3 hours to summon the mental energy to be able to just write 200 words. But yeah, so then the following week I had 2 major pieces of coursework, so it was crunch for those, and then I had a week until my exams, and I had like 4 weeks worth of lectures to catch up on, and then to revise and practice and everything, and then the exams. So it's just been non-stop, really. I didn't even really get much of an Easter break because I was working on my dissertation throughout all of that. So yeah, it's been insane. So that's why nothing's been really coming out apart from what I've previously scheduled. But I'm pretty much done for the year with uni now. I've got a couple of music tours, and I've got my dissertation post today, but that won't take too long. But then I'm pretty much finished. So I'm already getting back into YouTubing, and I thought I would begin with a Q&A video so I can let you guys know what's going on. So I did make a community post about this, but my next priority is to finish Beyond Kerbal. It's only got 1 episode left. It's got the finale. I know exactly what I'm doing for it. I had it planned for ages. I just need to actually make it. So I am going to be recording a cover for that. I think you guys are really going to love the song that I'm doing for it. I'm also going to be recording a cover for the first episode of For All Kerbalkind that comes back, so there's a lot of work that needs to go into those sort of 2 videos. But Beyond Kerbal is the priority, as well as another little project I've been working on that I wrote a script for about a year ago. So you'll see that relatively soon. But that should hopefully be in June, I want to say. And then after that, and then also probably, if not finishing, at least recording a bunch of Debodly Go with a new person. I've actually got someone new involved in the series, so I can finish that off. So after at least recording some of that and scheduling it up so you've got something regular coming out, then July 17th is the day we're aiming for All Kerbalkind. I should be able to start working on it in July, and it should come out around then. And then we should be back into the 2-week upload schedule. Not having the 2-week upload schedule, I think, was actually hurting the series. I think people really got into, the series built up a lot of momentum. People expect it to come out every 2 weeks, and they're waiting for it. And so then having a 6-month hiatus and then having a very sporadic upload schedule did hurt the number of views the videos were getting. So I think getting back into that would be a good idea. And I'll actually be able to do that over the summer, as well as working on some new projects. So I've been teasing this for quite a while. I'm not quite ready to reveal everything that I'm working on, but I am pivoting the channel away from gaming. There's always going to be a place for Kerbal on the channel, but it's pretty much just going to be For All Kerbalkind and then the other thing that I'm doing now. things that I've been working on. And the video that I'm working on now, besides Beyond Kerbal, is a taste of that sort of content. I do kind of want to pivot my channel into more of a space general interest channel. And I know a bunch of you are going to be like, oh no, he's turned to the dark side. You know, same thing that like, I don't know, like Marcus House or Matt Lown or a lot of other KSB YouTubers have done. And it's not that. I'm not going to turn into Space News of the Week. Mainly because that's so oversaturated. And I just wouldn't even have time, or to be honest, I just couldn't really be bothered to keep up on space news quite that religiously to be able to make videos about it every single week. You know, I could never do a better job than like Marcus House does at that. It's not that. It's more taking advantage of everything I've learned on my course. I would like to say that I'm actually, you know, I've got enough knowledge now, you know, effectively to get a bachelor's degree, except I'm doing an integrated master's. I've got an extra year. So having done a degree in aerospace engineering and astronautics, orbital mechanics, and particularly a module I did this year called Space Environment about space debris and everything, there's a lot of stuff that I learned which I thought, oh, this is so interesting. You know, something I've always wanted to do on YouTube is make the kind of videos that I would want to watch, and so much stuff that I've learned, I feel like I could make it yeah, I think not too imposing for a general audience, and I think a lot of people would find a lot of that stuff very, very interesting. So I'm not going to spoil some of the things that I have been working on, but that's sort of what I want to pivot the channel into, just because, as I said, I've always wanted to do something that I would want to watch and something unique to me, right? And until now, I've dabbled in making some general sort of videos and stuff, but I haven't felt confident enough that I know what I'm talking about, which is one of the great challenges, I think, of being any kind of science or engineering communicator on the internet, is you really do kind of need to know what you're talking about. You make one mistake and suddenly that's all you're remembered for, right? And all is said in all the comments. But yeah, that's sort of what I want to get into and the kind of content I want to get into making. I feel like I kind of peaked as a gaming YouTuber. I don't think there's much further my channel can grow as that. And I think I will still be gaming in streams and the like. But yeah, I think the gaming, like the general gaming stuff, is probably going to be reserved for streams or game nights with my patrons. One of which I'm having tonight. If you're a patron and you didn't notice in the announcement/Discord, we're playing some games tonight. I'm going to get into doing that more regularly. But anyway, that's the sort of plan for the channel. Everything that you know and love is not dead. It's all coming back. Well, I mean, to boldly go Beyond Kerbal and For All Kerbalkind. Nothing else is coming back. With no more collaborative warfare. I don't understand how people still ask me that. Like, it ended, what, like 6 years ago? Sometimes people are like, oh, so when's this coming back? Never. Get over it. Anyway, let's move on to the Discord questions. I've rambled about that for, oh goodness, more than long enough. So, the amazing Morthy asks, do you like my toad? Yes, I love your toad. He is a very handsome boy. Although, to be fair, I do prefer frogs. I do love how, I think it's caused by Alex Jones. And as, you know, chemicals in the water turn into freaking frogs gay, but frogs have just turned into, like, the gay mascot, which is a lot of fun. I've got a shirt with rainbow-coloured frogs on it, which I quite like. Have you ever read Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir? No, I haven't. That's his new book, I believe. I've read Artemis and The Martian. I really want to get around to reading it, because what I love about Andy Weir is, although his books are hilarious, like they're really, really funny, and characters actually talk like real people talk, and that's something I really like. It's actually strangely unique that, you know, the characters actually act and behave as you would expect a relatable human being to act and behave. But also the science is always absolutely spot on, apart from, you know, any small little leaps he needs to make just to make the story happen. But the science itself is always very, very trustworthy. And I really enjoy that. I think people maybe get a little bit too maybe superior about enjoying science fiction that has accurate science. You know, like, it's not a barrier to making good science fiction that it has to be scientifically accurate. You know, I love me some science fantasy and things as well. You know, people going, oh, well, actually, you know, you wouldn't be able to hear the laser blasts in Star Wars. It's like, yeah, but how exciting can that be? You know, like, it's not it doesn't make one bit of sci-fi better than another bit of sci-fi because it's more scientifically accurate, unless it's presenting like the real world or something. You know, unless it's presenting, like in Armageddon, it's presenting, you know, a NASA mission and presenting real space travel, in which case then, okay, it's less forgivable, I think. But on the whole, yeah, I think people get far too into that. But I do love when, instead of using the laws of physics and everything as a limitation, a book series or, you know, or a TV show or something like The Expanse, you know, uses the laws of physics and the limitations of the human body and space travel and everything to tell a new, a more interesting story. Like, okay, if people grew up in lower gravity that have long, slender bodies, okay, would people start then discriminating against them, you know, like they do against the Belters in The Expanse? It's really, really interesting premise. You know, it's using it to tell an interesting story. That's what I think makes it interesting. You know, it's just a new way of doing something and actually using the constraints of the universe to tell a more interesting story. Yeah, anyway, I really like Andy Weir, and I really want to read it. I just haven't had any time to do any reading, but I'm going on holiday soon, so yeah, I'm definitely planning to read it then. So no spoilers, but I'm sure I will love it. What inspired you to make a YouTube channel? I think just watching a lot of YouTube. I've actually had a YouTube channel in some form or another since like 2006, you know, for a long, long time. You know, I grew up watching, when I started watching YouTube, it still had the 5-star rating system, you know, and I grew up watching channels like Rooster Teeth, and particularly pivot animations. I was big into those, and obviously cat videos and things. You know, it's always been such a big part of my life, and just such a big part of the media I consume. Of course, I always, you know, monkey see, monkey do, always wanted to do that. So I started making pivot animations when I was like 7, and then just gradually progressed to sort of gaming videos and stuff, and then found this little game called Kerbal Space Program, and then was inspired by that game to do an aerospace engineering degree, and then that takes me to where I am now, where I'd actually like to talk about some of that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think it was sort of a natural progression. But YouTube has been a part of my life for, well, you know, most of my life. What inspired you to look so fabulous? Oh, stop it. I was asking why, particularly in the last face cam stream I did when I was testing some mead and stuff. I do look very queer now. It's something that I've only really lent into in the last year or so. I was never really that bothered about my sexuality. You know, it was like, okay, I'm bisexual, and, you know. And then I think it was particularly having a YouTube audience, particularly people from the southern states of the US or Russia, or places where they can't be open about themselves, and having the Discord be a place where they could be themselves. I don't know, I kind of recognize that actually it's very rare, and I'm very lucky to be able to have my sexuality just be something that's part of me, but otherwise, you know, just not be bothered about it, right? Like, to be able to just have it be a part of me is actually something that I'm really, really lucky, you know, to have. I think because of that, it was that really inspired me to actually, you know what, let's start leaning into it. I started going to Pride, and as well as that just being a lot of fun, it's almost just like enjoying it and being out there, because unfortunately so many people can't. And I think it's, yeah, I don't know. It's not like if you are queer, you have to, you know, lean into the whole queer, you know, queer sphere. You know, you have to lean into that. But it's been a lot of fun, as I said, and I think letting go of what, you know, society's standards of what men should look like, particularly, you know, wearing a little bit of makeup, a bit of eyeliner and stuff, and breaking out of that sort of thing, and yeah, and it means a lot to people. You know, even just when I changed my profile picture, YouTube background to a bi flag and stuff for Pride Month, you know, I realize it does actually mean quite a lot to people to follow a creator that is openly queer. You know, even if it has absolutely nothing to do with their content, I think it's quite endearing. And it means a lot to people, particularly who can't, unfortunately, be themselves wherever they may live. Have you ever heard of the hit mobile RPG Raid Shadow Legends? So I actually got a sponsorship offer from them about a month ago, and it was the dumbest offer ever. They said, okay, just do a stream on anything and just have Raid Shadow Legends gameplay in the top right, like in the corner, for the duration of the stream. Like an unrelated stream, and just have like a third of the screen occupied by Raid Shadow Legends. They're like, yeah, and we'll pay you like $20 for that. And it's like, are you are you serious? Like who would agree to that? I guess someone who maybe just did a stream with nobody watching. I mean, you just take the money and run, right? And that'd be fine. But yeah, obviously, I mean, I don't really take sponsorships anyway. I think maybe down the line I might take a sponsorship if it was something like already used or something that I would actually want to recommend, and then the money is just a bonus or something. I don't know, but I don't know. I never really want to compromise my content by being like, oh, and this is sponsored by this person, particularly because I'm supported by my patrons on Patreon, and that is all the support I need. Yeah, I'd feel greedy filling up my YouTube videos with sponsored adverts as well, particularly as this isn't my full-time job. I guess it's become a bit of a part-time job, and it's something I now do depend on. But yeah, I think if it wasn't my full-time job and I didn't have like people to pay and actually had to live on it, then no, I don't think I'll take sponsorships, particularly not from Raid Shadow Legends. What video have you made that you hate the most? My 200 subscribers special. Will we ever see that 200 subscriber special? No. You know what? If I hit 100,000 subscribers, then I'll show it. I'll show it in a video. I'll react to it, and I'll probably have a heart attack from sheer cringe. It was that terrible. Do you know any foreign languages, and which ones would you like to know? I studied French for 11 years, and I still can't speak a word of it. Which just says everything about how terrible I am at languages. I mean, I do programming languages, and I can read music, obviously. But no, I don't know any foreign languages. I think if I were to learn any, I would like to learn one with a non-English alphabet. You know, I would have said that I wanted to learn Russian, particularly because I wanted to visit a lot of parts of Russia related to the space program. If you'd asked me that question maybe about 6 months to a year ago, obviously that's, you know, not really the case now. So probably like French or German, something I could use in Europe, something that would be useful in Europe, and particularly if I do end up working for the European Space Agency. That's obviously not a given, but if I do end up working for the ESA, being able to speak a European language would certainly be very helpful. Not that I'm actually going to learn one, but, you know. Will there ever be Beardy merch? Yes, probably when I get to, like, again, if I ever get to, like, 100k subs, I think. I think before then, like, not enough people would buy it to make it worth it. But I think around the 100k mark is when having merch actually becomes viable, I think, as a revenue stream. Besides being part of the LGBTQ community, are you part of any other minorities? I don't think of being bi as a minority. To be honest, I mean, I'm of the opinion that everyone's bi, really. It's all a spectrum, you know. Even people who are 100% straight or 100% gay, there's usually at least like one exception that proves the rule throughout their lives, or at least like a crush or some form of it. I feel like gender and sexuality and everything is all a spectrum, and hopefully eventually we'll get to a point where we don't need labels and everything. A lot of people are like, labels, you're so obsessed with labels, you know, it should just, you know, it shouldn't matter. And I can see where they're coming from. I think that's where we would like to get to, where you can just be you, but particularly when a lot of people are still trying to understand themselves and a lot of this stuff isn't taught and certainly not accepted, it is important to have labels, so people can find similarly minded people, they can learn about themselves, and also, you know, they can actually have a community to support them. I think finding out that I was bi, particularly to me, it was all the bisexual memes that I love, like having cuffed jeans and wearing leather jackets. But yeah, so being part of a community, I think in this day and age is important, but hopefully I would like to get to a point where we don't have to use labels. But no, I'm not part of any other minorities. I'm like my entire family, as far back as I go, is British. It's just completely white British. There's I think the most exotic member of my family was like Irish, but the time that they lived, that was then part of Britain. Well, no, part of the United Kingdom, I should say. Great Britain is just England, Scotland, and Ireland. But yeah, no, not part of any other minorities. What video editing software do you use? Which one would you not recommend? I wouldn't recommend anything you have to pay for. Honestly, I use DaVinci Resolve. It's as powerful as Premiere. It has a built-in Fusion program, which is almost as good as After Effects, and it's completely free. And that's what I've been using to do all the cool effects and everything that I've put into For All Kerbalkind, and into like my Lego N1 video and everything, the animations I did in that. Honestly, it's amazing. It's all I probably ever need, and it's completely free, so don't pay for anything. Opinion on dislike removal on YouTube. I don't get it. I really don't, because the dislikes are still there. It's not like it shields the creator from criticism. And it was just a useful metric. Like, you click onto a tutorial video, if it was like 90% dislike ratio, obviously you're going to click off and find another one, you know? I just think it was useful to be able to see the ratio. And so the fact that you can still dislike things, but you can't see the ratio, I just don't understand. Like, why limit that information? It's still there. So why stop people from seeing it? I just don't understand. I think it's a useful metric for a viewer to be able to have, as well as the creator to be able to have. So I don't really understand it, but you know, whatever. I don't really care that much. What is your favorite meal to cook/eat? To cook, I actually do a carbonara, but since I'm a pescatarian, I use smoked salmon instead of bacon. Fry it in garlic butter, put that in a carbonara. Oh, beautiful. To eat, I'm going to sound like the poshest twat right now, but lobster ravioli. I've only had it like once or twice in my life, but oh my gosh. Lobster in stuffed pasta. Oh, heaven. Like heaven on earth. I never wanted it to end. It was amazing. Which series do you enjoy making the most? That depends actually, because if it's which series do I enjoy recording the most, that would easily be To Boldly Go, just playing Minecraft with a friend, just messing around and having a fun time. But which do I actually enjoy making as a whole product and releasing would definitely be For All Kerbalkind. Particularly because every time I upload a video, you know, I also get to enjoy N9's video as well, and the community around it, the friendly rivalry, and just how proud I am of most of those videos, you know, particularly when I've put music covers into them. As an actual whole product, I think that's the most fun, particularly because To Boldly Go is a lot of fun to record, but you know, not so much fun to edit really, particularly because there's usually a lot of footage which I edit all the way down, so it takes quite a while to edit, and doesn't get anywhere near as many views, you know, as some of our other series, which is fine. But you know, the amount of effort I do actually put into To Boldly Go versus the the views it gets isn't great, considering Mars Horizon usually beat it by a factor of 2, and Mars Horizon required 0 effort to record or to edit. But yeah, I think For All Kerbalkind, just because, you know, I'm so proud of what we've been doing, to be honest. Once you reach a crewed lunar landing in For All Kerbalkind, do you plan on doing another music cover? And if so, which song will it be? So I am doing a song, but I'm not doing a cover. I have written an original song for Landing on the Moon, which I'm not going to spoil, but yeah, it's something I'm pretty happy with. I haven't had a chance to transcribe it, but I did write it quite a while ago. I think you guys are really going to like it. I'm excited. It's the first time I will have released anything that I've written, so I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. Where did the name Picardie come from? This is the name of my music channel, and that came from the Tiers de Picardie. Now, Picardie is a region of France, and that's where the Tiers de Picardie came from. It's where you're in a minor key, and then you have a major chord at the end. It adds a nice little sort of uplifting end to a piece, and I just became obsessed with them back in school when I was doing GCSE and A-level music. I always put them in all of my compositions, and it's something I love putting into things that I write. So yeah, it's just like Picardie. I just thought it sounded fun. Apparently, it's also slang for, like, Picardie is like slang as well as being wine. It's slang for someone who's a legend or something. Apparently, I don't know. I found that out afterwards. I just like put it into Urban Dictionary just to make sure that it didn't mean anything unfortunate before I picked that as my music name. But yeah, that's where it came from. So many people are like, it's a region of France. It's like, yeah, and you know, it's not that deep. But yeah, it came from the Tears to Picardie, which is a musical motif. Will there be more people added to For All Kerbalkind after Carnasser? No. This is something that a lot of people have asked. So many people were like, add Carnasser as Easter, add Carnasser as Easter, and I kept saying no, because the scope of For All Kerbalkind was just who's going to be first to land on the moon, right? And then we decided to widen the scope since we were enjoying it so much. And then I was like, actually, no, there is room to add one more person. But it seems like whatever you do, it's never enough. People are always just like excited by what could be, not what they actually got. So as soon as I was like, yep, we'll add Carnasser, then they're like, right, now this person is Jaxa, and this person is ISRO, and this person is China, and it's just like, no. Like, do you want this to turn into Collaborative Warfare 2.0? You know, we get one video a month if you're lucky. You know, coordinating that many people is not easy. You know, I'm happy to add Carnasser because I know he'll actually put in the effort and we'll probably be able to stick to the upload schedule. And the nature of For All Kerbalkind means we can all be working on our videos at once. It's not sequential like Collaborative Warfare was. But adding in anyone else, I don't really know, that I wouldn't be able to really trust, whose content I don't really watch. You know, I'd be happy to add Carnasser in because, you know, I watch his stuff. I really enjoy his videos. And I think he would do a great job. But particularly in the era we're in, we're only going to go up to maybe 1980 at the latest. Nobody else is really going to play a big part. It's really just going to be those three. And we've got some pretty fun plans. Adding a third person lets us do some things, which I'm quite excited about, which I'm not going to spoil. But yeah, we don't need to add anyone else in. I'm not sure it would actually add anything to the series apart from overcomplicate it. And make it take a lot longer to release. Regardless though, I think I've been chatting for more than long enough. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you do have any questions, head over to the Discord and I will try my best to answer them in a Q&A video eventually. I might get into doing these somewhat more regularly. There are a few more questions I had today which I didn't really have time to answer. But yeah, if you are a patron, of course, you get priority. But yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. I've been the Beardy Penguin. Do hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you're as excited as I am. I'll see you all next time.
A massive thank you to my patrons and donators for their generous support, and an extra special thank you to the Amazing Steak, Olaf Hammerhand, Dakota Clark, Lady Lagsalot, Lightning Gamer, Peter Lushtinets, Madzor, Dennis Klomp, Axel Jensen, Simone67, Scott Milligan, Elmac, and Jesse Smith.